As the day two election day draws closer and closer, and as the Republican National Convention wrapped up last night, and needless to say, it was a train wreck in more ways than one. But talk about that in a different video. Days and weeks have gone by, and the pressure for President Joe Biden to step down has gotten increasingly louder. Ever since that debacle at the presidential debate against Donald Trump, the calls for him to step down has gotten even louder. He has done nothing to quell the noise. Now you got top Democrats like the Adam Schiffs and the Nancy Pelosi's, and now you got former President Barack Obama coming out now saying that Biden should step aside. So I'm going to point to an Axios article, right? I want to point to an Axios article that came out saying that several top Democrats privately tell Axios that the rising pressure of party congressional leaders and close friends will persuade President Biden to drop out the election as soon as this weekend. The 81-year-old, now self-isolating with the Maximus, remains publicly dug in, but privately, he's resigned to mounting pressure, bad polls, and untenable scrutiny, making it possible to continue his campaign. Now, in that, there was $90 million of campaign donor funds that has been frozen, right? $90 million of campaign funds that's been frozen. And he has declining health. Forget the Maximus for a second. What they're not telling us, this man is in declining health. So yes, there's all this mounting pressure for him to step down. And throughout this whole process, Biden has remained defiant. He tried to project himself to be all energetic. What's up, Santee? He tried to project himself to be all energetic and all that, right? But we all know that this man ain't got no business trying to run for president and stuff like that. And look, before I go any further with this shit, right? Let's just cut right to the chase. Let's cut all the bullshit, cut right to the chase, right? You Democrats, if you want the black vote, you need to do something about it. We want them tangibles. You know what time it is, right? Seem like you guys just rather want to get your ass beat than give us our tangibles. Y'all know what it is. It's reparations, ending qualified immunity, and an anti-black hate crime bill. Those are the three things we demand. We ain't talking about no student loans. We ain't talking about all this other bullshit y'all throwing out here. We don't need no old, funky ass motherfucking house nigga like goddamn, what's his face? Steve Harvey sitting up there talking, before y'all call my radio show, and this is a layup. This is an alley-oop for a dunk. The fuck out of here, Steve Harvey, you coon ass motherfucker. Look, we're not listening to the Roland Martins. We're not listening to the Angela Rise. We're not listening to Bakari Sellouts and Andrew Big Bussy Gillum. We're not listening to motherfuckers, man. We damn sure ain't listening to old nigga Jim Clyburn who be cooking catfish nuggets at his fish fry. Y'all go sub to my brother Santee. The bottom line, Santee Walden. That's my brother right there. We're not checking for them dudes. Because as far as I see it, all them dudes we speaking of right now ain't nothing but a bunch of self-serving professional bullshit artists. Period. So we're not checking for them. We're not listening for them. Now, back to this thing about Biden, right? Oh yeah, Van Jones too. Fuck Van Jones. You know I don't like Van Jones' old chrome dome head habit ass anyway, right? There you go, Santee. And that link's only for my brothers. If I don't know you, don't click that link. All right, because I ain't gonna let you in. That's only for my brothers. It's only for certain people. That link is only for certain people. So if I don't know you, don't even think you go try to come up in here because you ain't getting in. All right, now Biden dropping out, right? Okay. So who gonna replace him? Who's gonna replace him on the ticket? Right? Well, word behind the scenes is it's not gonna be Kamala. It's not gonna be Kamala, and we all know why that is. You think Kamala Harris gonna beat goddamn Donald Trump? This girl couldn't even make it out the motherfucking. She couldn't even make it to the damn Iowa primary back in 2019. She was one of the first ones to drop out the election chase back in 2019. So you can't possibly think that she's going to go from a woman who dropped out in 2019, one of the first candidates to drop out in 2019, to all of a sudden now being strapped with this rocket ship and catapult her way to the presidency. What's up, Too Raw?
Hey, what's up, my brother LB?
What's going on?
I'm doing good,
Santee,
man.
I dropped the link in the chat for you, bro, if you want to come in. Go ahead, Too Raw. What's your thoughts on camel toe? Oh, camel toe.
I mean, we all know if there's one person that's a worse candidate than Biden right now, it's Cam. She, you know what I'm saying, really was nothing more than a token pick and a play for votes to ensure that Biden got elected. But other than that, I mean, she is nothing more than a token pick. And outside of the overrated use that she served as a vote getter for a certain demographic or demographics, she's not presidential material. You know what I'm saying? There's been many vice presidents in history who are presidential material, have been presidents, but there's also been many who have just been token picks to appease certain part of their party to elect the top person, but they all knew that person was not presidential material. I'm not going to bore them naming other examples, but Thomas Marshall was one of them, the vice president of Woodrow Wilson. He wasn't presidential material. That's why his wife and the doctor conspired to keep Wilson president, because Thomas Marshall would have been a disaster for the presidency. But nobody's worse is Kamala Harris. She's not president. She's not presidential material, and the Democratic establishment know it. And that's why, even though I think she's going to put up a fight, she's not going to be the nominee. And if the Democrats do somehow foolishly nominate her, they're going to deserve the epic loss they're going to receive in November. Because if they thought that Hillary Clinton was tailor-made for Donald Trump, Kamala Harris is even more tailor-made for him. They're begging. They're pleading. If there's one person that they are itching to run in place of Biden, it's her.
Look at this. You got Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer told Biden at Rail Beach, Delaware on Saturday, the day of Trump almost getting taken out, they'll be best if he dropped out. That ABC News first reported that. Then you got Nancy Pelosi telling him he need to drop out. Hakeem Jeffries, Obama 2.0, telling him to drop out. The real Obama has spoken loudly with silence. Why? You would think Obama be one of the first ones to come out and defend Biden. The fact that he hasn't should tell you everything you need to know.
And it says Bill and Hillary Clinton are doing the same thing, as well as their former subordinates.
Right. They say his former aides is trashing him in public. So you would think all the heavy hitters in the Democratic Party would be in staunch defiance to back Biden. The fact that you haven't heard them say anything should tell you something.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you another thing too, LB. I think we've been alluding to this. You might have already said it. Another motivation as to why they're trying to get rid of Biden is because they're trying to kill two birds with one stone. They want to get rid of Biden because that also probably will knock out Kamala. You know what I'm saying?
Because let's face it, Kamala Harris is a fraud, right? And Crystal Welker, look, I know you be doing a good job on Meet the Press, and I know I be having wild sex dreams about you and shit, but you way off base with that shit when you said that, we need to put Kamala Harris on there. We need to present her to the mainstream. You've done that many times over. How many times are you going to recycle this woman? How many times are you going to recycle Kamala Harris, huh? It's going to be the same thing. You're going to try to, Dana Bash going to have her at Howard University in some fucking random student hall, right? She's going to have her legs crossed, being fed these softball questions and all that, and then people like me, people like Too Raw, people like Santi, we're going to come right behind it and debunk all that nonsense. Because we're going to tell you about how she was a little boo thing to downtown Willie Brown, when downtown Willie Brown was fucking that thing every day and twice on Sunday, was #1 grandfather chain off, and then baby powder, naughty ass hands of his, right?
Remember it's been reported that when Willie Brown was mayor of San Francisco, that his subordinates or aides will sometimes walk into the office and she under that desk.
Whoa! What happened?
Have you ever heard some of the chatter that when downtown Willie Brown was the mayor of San Francisco, back in the the 90s or late 80s? Remember he was mayor. Okay. Back when he was the mayor, that some of his aides and subordinates would sometimes walk into the office and Kamala be under the desk.
I wonder what she doing under the desk.
Oh, I guess Willie Brown dropped some paperwork that she was just looking for, in his lap.
Maybe she was looking for her contacts or some shit.
Yeah. In his
car. Or maybe, before the Gawk 3000, there was the Gawk 500.
She was the original Gawk.
Yeah, there was the Gawk 500. Oh, what you doing under the desk? Oh, and why is your skirt off? And why is all this orgasm on the floor? And why is your hair all messed up?
And what is that in your hair? Is that gel? Oh no, never mind.
Is that Noxzema?
That's the.
And why does it smell like fish in here?
That's the bleach scented Noxzema. Yeah, it smell like catching the day in this motherfucker.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You up in the Red Lobster yet? So you say all that to say this, right? That's how she got her. That's how she got put on. That's how she got put on. You think she got there because of her merit? You think she got there because she was this fierce warrior and all that? No. She got used. She was treated as a vessel for orgasms.
Yes.
And then when she got and set in positions by assuming a position, then she would then take her newfound powers and use it against the same people who put her on.
Yep, like she did Willie Brown.
I want to take you downtown. That's the way to my love. Make you go round and round. Anyway, then aside from all the hardcore porn on Skinamax, let's talk about this baby, right? This right here is a letter from Kelly Millenbacher, who was Camel Toe. Oh, Camel Toe. That was her campaign manager when she tried to run for president unsuccessfully, right? This was the letter that she wrote, talking about how it was basically, for all intents and purposes, a complete shit show about how it was being completely mismanaged, how the leadership sucked, there was no communication, nothing. And then when you factor in, because let's face it, the only reason why she even got that vice presidential nod, what's his name? Ron Klain. He was Obama's campaign manager when he ran for president. Was it Ron? I think his name is Ron Klain. He was the guy that pretty much convinced Biden to select Kamala Harris as his running mate.
Mm-hmm.
Ron Klain is the former White House chief of staff under the Obama administration. I think he also worked for Clinton also.
Bill or Hillary?
Bill.
Okay.
But he was, he did work under the Clinton administration. Because he was the chief of staff to Al Gore, and he was the chief of staff to Biden when he was vice president, right? Anyway, he was the guy that convinced Biden to take Kamala Harris, despite the fact that during that first presidential debate, and you had Kamala Harris come out with the whole busing thing to go viral. Remember that shit?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that shit too, Raw?
Mm-hmm.
And then behind the scenes, you had Jill Biden come out and behind the scenes, you had Jill Biden complaining about why are we picking her.
I think I remember reading the argument was obviously the checks that she check off as far as certain people, because like the whole energy of 2020, you had the racial tensions, the George Floyd situation. Black women had been probably the most loyal staple of the Democratic Party at that point, so there was a big push for like to throw them a bone. And even though Kamala never identified as being a black woman, it was pressure for them to pick her because she was a woman and color, because the Democrats already had broken that barrier with a woman, with Geraldine Ferraro. So they felt like the natural next order was to pick a woman of quote color. And then another argument was because Kamala went so hard at him from the busing situation, if he was to pick her, to make it sound like that he's being magnanimous and it would bring party unity, whatever. So that I remember those were some of the reasons why they picked Kamala. But it really had nothing to do with her qualifications. Nothing. Not because, like a Al Gore or a Dick Cheney or even a Joe Biden, much as I don't like Biden, they were often picked because the top guy lacked some things, lacked some qualities over Gore. He picked Gore because he thought Gore could be a president. Usually you pick a vice president, sometimes for geographical reasons, but also you're supposed to pick them because in the event something happens to me, you can feel confident this guy can take over or this person can take over from day one. And Kamala never fit that criteria. So this is where they at now. Because they just were so adamant that they were going to go for Joe Biden, even though he's mentally falling apart. Now they're stuck in the quagmire they're stuck in.
Yep. And then another thing too, when it came to that, remember the whole interview she did with Lester Holt? Because anytime the Democrats want somebody to throw them a softball interview, they would go to the tried and true, that pasty-faced bastard Lester Holt.
Who hairline?
Remember that interview she did? Huh?
I was gonna say whose hairline makes Stephen A's look like goddamn Keith Sweats. I mean, his hairline, like, man, like, come on, bro, shade that.
Right. So Lester Holt tries to give Kamala Harris the softball interview a couple years ago when it comes to the whole situation when it comes to the border, right? Because the Republican Party was putting on this fake outrage about we need to protect the border, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which they had no plans of protecting the border because a lot of the donors who get these people from under the what's up? The elders in the building, Baba Rashawn. Hey man, salute to you, man. Appreciate you for tuning in. Salute to you. Go subscribe to his channel, Baba Rashawn. That's one of the elders. I definitely enjoy his content. So you remember that interview she did a couple years ago with Lester Holt, and she's like, "We've been to the border. We've been to the border. We've been to the border." He goes, "You hadn't been to the border." I hadn't been to Europe either. I'm like, oh, Lord have mercy. Boy, this woman is unqualified. Then, before that, she did a speech out there in Guatemala. She already telling the people telling her don't. She already telling the people out there in Guatemala don't come. And the people come back saying, "How about you go back to your you? How about you go back to the States and fix your corrupt government?" The fact of the matter is, look, man, she is unqualified, bro. She unqualified. She ain't pushing no tangible for black folks. And it goes back to what I said earlier in the stream. The Democrats rather get their asses beat than do what's necessary for their voting bloc.
Yep. They'll never do, the Democrats, man, they never, well, actually, both parties are not ever going to do anything for us. You know what I'm saying? So voting for Donald Trump ain't the answer either. But the Democrats, they keep pretending like they got our back, man, but they're never actually going to do anything tangible for us. They just use the same scare tactics, but they don't work like it used to. Because a lot of people are wising up. I think a lot of our content, telling people about the scam, is starting to wake people up slowly but surely. And that those scare tactics don't work anymore. You know what I'm saying? Ever since really the 80s, their go-to is to use scare tactics. Every election cycle, the Republican is the boogeyman. Trump is the boogeyman. Romney is the boogeyman. McCain is the boogeyman. Bush is the boogeyman. You know what I'm saying? Dole, Reagan. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And they used to work all the time. But, and I'm not saying they better, but at the same time, like, hey, man, you got to give us a better reason to vote for you other than, oh, well, we better than the other side. You know what I'm saying? We're going to let you breathe. We ain't going to do shit for you, but we'll let you breathe. Nah, we're going to do more. We got to do more than that.
I want y'all to see this clip. I don't know if y'all saw this clip yet, but I want y'all to see this with Biden. This before they had their little bootlegs jamboree at the NAACP convention out in Vegas. DJ, spin that shit.
You could. And one thing does change. It's not an excuse and explanation. I would ordinarily be going through black neighborhoods on the foot, working through the neighborhoods. I have a tradition. I close every campaign, no matter what campaign, going into the projects and going down the east side. And hey, Joe, well, how you doing? You know, everybody, well, just because they're my friends, let them know I'm still there. We can't do that now. Not because of the black community, because it's too dangerous for me to be out walking unaccompanied. So what I'm doing now is trying to keep in touch with as many of my black constituents and letting people know that I'm available. I'm available. It's a reason why I got involved in politics in the first place. Not a joke. Not a joke. Everybody deserves a shot. Everybody deserves a shot.
All right. All right, let's talk about this, right? So you go down to the project down to the east side. What the fuck? What does that even mean?
The east side.
What does that even mean? You go down to the project down to the east side. So, but hey, my brother. I'm like, what? Now you're saying it's too dangerous. But it ain't too dangerous for funky white supremacists to go to a church, open fire, killing 9 black folks, and then you're gonna take your charlatan ass to the damn the black community, right? Supremacists to enter a goddamn grocery store, opening fire, killing 10 black folks. What you talking about? And they ain't an anti-black hate crime bill law yet. But you sitting up there talking about, oh, if you run it, if you win, your promise changes. The only thing that's going to change is your age as you fucking continue your cognitive decline. You might even die out in office if that happened to be the case. So who are you trying to convince?
I swear just now, man, I was gonna say they need to put some subtitles up there because I can understand every other word he was saying.
So I mean, look, man. The fact of the matter is, these guys clearly got their heads in the sand. Because nobody's offering tangibles. Nobody. Then you want to prop up this part-time black woman, full-time con artist in our face and shit? Talk about, 79% of Democrats back Harris. What? Who are these 79% out of how many?
Oh man, did they say they put out a poll saying that 79% of people who identify as Democrats back Kamala Harris? Is that what they just said?
Yeah. Now, how she go from a person who's not very well liked within the party to all of a sudden now she's like one of the most popular people in the Democratic Party? Make it make sense. You had her own former staffers setting up discourse talking shit about her. So you mean to tell me that, oh, it's the boogeyman? The boogeyman's coming back? All right, let's drop all our criticism of her. We got to back her. Let's forget all the bullshit she done to me when I was trying to prepare that presidential daily brief and she don't read the brief, then she could come back and cuss me out. Let's forget all that because the boogeyman's back. Miss me with that, man. Miss me with that. There ain't no way that she goes from being one of the most unpopular people within the party to all of a sudden now she had this rocket ship strapped to her back and all these people held hands, came together, and they back Kamala Harris too. Old nigga Jim Clyburn don't even back her. Y'all seen the interview? I did a video on this. He sat down there with Kristen Welker and he did everything but endorse her. They don't trust this woman, as we've been saying for years. The vice presidency is her ceiling. It's her ceiling. There's nowhere else she can go.
Yeah, because
she's not beating Trump.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because depending upon the administration, the vice presidency is only as powerful as the president wants them to be. Sometimes they have power like Dick Cheney did, Al Gore, Walter Mondale, Richard Nixon. But in other times, it's ceremonial. And she's, because the only duty they have is to preside over the Senate. That's the only constitutional duty they have. So she's just ceremonial. She really has no real power. You know what I'm saying? Except for the prestige of the office, but she has no real power. She really, they put her there because as long as Joe Biden is alive, she has no power. And
for her to get the presidency at this point, the 25th Amendment has to be invoked.
Right. And that tells you something, LB. If Joe Biden is ailing, which obviously he's not the same person he is, or was, excuse me. The fact that they're doing everything, putting all these smoke and mirrors to keep him in place, shows you how afraid they are of this woman getting into that position.
That's right. They don't trust her.
No.
So if I can see that, you can see that, the individuals in this chat room can see that. Hell, you even got a crack smoking hood rat that can see this. How come the people with their own party can't see this? Or else they're trying to put out these smoke and mirrors like everything is all clean and pristine and the roses are red and the violets are blue. This part-time black woman, full-time con artist. Hey, you solved that Matrice Richardson case yet? Meanwhile, at the Republican National Convention, you got a racist and Hulk Hogan. Well, let me tell you something, brother.
That was a disgrace.
That was, oh man, you know what? I should dedicate a whole stream just to that alone. And he's out there taking off his suit, ripping off his shirt, and them racist rubes sitting up there soaking that bullshit up.
No, look at the holster. Oh, dang,
you got these Trump maniacs or the Trump acolytes. They're sitting up there with the fucking tea bag on the side of their ear. You got people within his own Republican Party dressed like him. But I'll dedicate a whole stream to that whole I should do takeaways from the Republican National. That shit was a fucking train wreck. Especially if you got Amber Rose up there. Amber Rose sitting up there, you know what I'm saying? Her claim to fame is grabbing dick. Talking she an entrepreneur. Yeah, because when you got a thing for OnlyFans, that make you an independent contractor when you got an OnlyFans account.
It's a disgrace the way that, that's just my opinion, man. But it's just a disgrace how they keep promoting this 304 them, man.
Yeah, they're promoting 304s like all that. Man, the fuck out of here. Anyway.
Only reason I was gonna say one quick thing. Only reason why she was up there is because she got 23 million, is it Instagram followers?
Yeah, she got a whole bunch of Instagram followers.
That's the only reason why she was up there.
Instagram followers.
Yeah, that's the only reason why she up there. Votes. Potential votes. That's it.
I'm supposed to be taking political advice with somebody with dick breath. If you cut off the light, you run that certain type of light, is it the blue light? You see DNA all in the hair, the back of the ear, in the mouth, around the mouth, on the nose, under the eyelid, on the titty, on the stomach, on the leg, on the foot, on the butt crack. Hell, if you happen to spread your legs and shine like that, you might see some of that shit in the fucking and the butt crack, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to be taking political advice on her. She got all these stains on her: chicken stains, jelly stains, semen stains.
Hey, LB.
I want to tell you the truth. God damn it! Hey, take over the stream too, Raw.
All right, okay. Well, you know, we saw Tim Scott on day one, cooning it up. Once again, talking about America is not a racist country, but then pointing out racism in this country. But you know what I'm saying? People like him on the right, they always claim that all the racism comes from the left. Really? Really? So all the people who were at those McCain rallies calling Obama the N-word and saying kill him and all that, those are left wing activists. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, getting back to Kamala Harris, getting back to Cam. It's quite obvious that, you know, when you look at her history, she's extremely conniving. She's not a very intelligent. Well, I'm not gonna say she's not intelligent. She's not intelligent from a sense of like, you know what I'm saying, book smarts or, you know what I'm saying, from an intellectual standpoint. But she's very cunning. You know what I'm saying? She's real cunning and she's real manipulative. She has intelligence in that way. And she's been able to use her gifts physically to get to where she is right now. But, you know, in the meantime, every time she gets up a plateau, the people who she used to get to there, she immediately shows her true colors and steps on them like ants, like she did Willie Brown. You know what I'm saying? And she has a history. This is why I don't understand the strong support she has in the Black community. She has a history of screwing over the people who have the least power in this country. And generally speaking, unfortunately, we have the least amount of power. And she has screwed over Black people, in particular Black men, all the time in more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? She put scores of Black men in prison to pad her record so she could catapult herself politically. She's, you know, her, when she was the DA, or the Attorney General, I should say, of California, she put scores of Black men in prison, oftentimes, you know what I'm saying, hiding evidence, fabricating evidence. And, you know what I'm saying, when you look at it, many men went to death row or had long prison terms on trumped up charges, man. And this woman is she's a piece of shit. Look, Trump is bad, man. Don't get me wrong. Trump is bad. And, you know what I'm saying, there will be no joy if he wins, because it's still going to be the same status quo, you know what I'm saying, collective foot on our collective throats, man. But to me, Kamala is worse, bro. She's worse. She's unpredictable. And I just, in my opinion, she can't be she can't be anywhere near the White House. Vivek Ramaswamy, man, that dude is him and Tim Scott, man. I don't. It's just pathetic, man. When Vivek was a candidate, I think he was in Iowa. I think it was right before he ended his campaign. And Vivek, his wife was trying to solicit voters in Iowa. And I think I remember this, right? And the voters would tell them to their face, like, are you people even from this country? Like, we don't trust you. Like, you know, y'all look like foreigners to me. Like, you know, no matter how much butt kissing they do, no matter how much they suck up to white supremacy, they will never entrust you with real power. They just don't trust you. They're just convenient tools to gladly be discarded if needed. They will never love you. They will never, ever love you. And it's just disgusting to see these dudes suck up to these guys, man. It's like a dog, you know what I'm saying? It's like an annoying dog just running behind you, sniffing at you. No matter how much you kick at it and scream at it, you know what I'm saying? The dog still just keep falling behind you. You know what I'm saying? Being annoying, hoping you got food for it, hope you're gonna pat it on his head and give it a treat. It's just disgusting, man. You know, with the Senate, I got to do a little bit more research as to the individual races, but there's a good chance. I'm not saying it's etched in stone, but with the issues that Bob Menendez is going through right now, him being convicted, he should resign his seat, but he's not going to do it. And you know, it's funny, the media is not pressuring him to resign, because usually politicians, when they get convicted of something like that, it's one thing to be charged, but be convicted, usually they resign. But the Democrats, they want to keep that seat. So it's funny, there's no pressure on the media for him to resign. But anyway, I read that Bob Menendez is going to run as an independent. Now, I don't think he's going to get that many votes. His approval rating is in the toilet, but that Senate race right now is pretty close in New Jersey. And if Bob Menendez run, he'll probably take some votes away from the Democratic candidate, and they might swing that seat to a Republican. And as close as the Senate is, you know, that's a vital race. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, if Trump does happen to win by a large margin, it's possible he could have some coattail effects and bring in some Republican candidates into the Senate. Now the House, you know what I'm saying? I think the Republicans already have the House by a small margin, but if they can get the Senate, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's more at stake than just the presidency here. It's more at stake than just Joe Biden here in a presidential race. You know, then of course, if Trump does get in the White House, there's a possibility that they could push that Supreme Court majority from 6-3 to 7-2. And that'll be a super majority. And that's really important. That's not even being talked about. That's possibly the most important thing right there. That's the one thing that Donald Trump did that had the most impact on this country, was the Supreme Court appointments. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, you know what I'm saying, in many ways, it is important who wins this race. It's not just the presidency. It's about what they do when they get in office. Man, Trump supporters are insane, bro. Absolutely goddamn disgusting racist, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's their own doing. That's their own doing from so many years of catering to that disgusting base, to the point where they took over the party. You know what I'm saying? There we go.
Sorry, that was my little confidant that called me and shit. But anyway, yeah, man. To put a button on all this, because I ain't trying to take up too much of y'all time. I know y'all got stuff going on. I know some of y'all trying to make a porno as we speak. But so to put a button on all this, right? Biden will be dropping out. Apparently, there's gonna be a speech. There's a speech being written for him as we speak, right? So it's supposed to be this weekend, like as early as Sunday, that he's going to announce that he's going to step down, and that we don't know right now who is going to take his place. But as far as like where the campaign money is going to come from and how that's going to get distributed, well, Biden will have the final say in that. He could be like a Royce White that's gonna be taking that shit. You know what? I'm stressed. I'm gonna take my motherfucking ass to the club and all that. Jiggle-leg, jiggle-leg, jiggle-leg. Right? So, it'll be interesting to see who he picked. Hey, I gotta go. This your man. Scream at me. Ho!
Peace.